sampler. I love the sampler. Great write-ups. You should pay attention to the sampler. They're really good.
Got out of bed today. Had a lot on my mind.
Definitely a vintage sound, so I guess that's one word. You know, I pull from older things and stuff like that. But probably urban too, because you know, this white girl sings, and of course there's like the Amy Winehouse and Adele and shit, but I do stuff in the hip hop world, and I do soul, so I guess urban would be one. And then is genre bending a word? I mean, I kind of incorporate a lot. My mom is actually a vintage clothing dealer, so I've been around that for a really long time, and I've always loved the whole vintage looks and different eras, and all the shit in my closet is not expensive. Like, I probably got it for like $5 at a thrift store.
That's great.
But it doesn't look like it, which is the goal. People don't recognize me sometimes because like I'll go out and I'll have like, you know, like this intense like cat eye highlighter on, or like you know, with like this sweater, or you know, so it'll be like kind of vintage girly, and then one day I'll wear a leather jacket and combat boots, and you know, like really dark, almost black. I had my nose pierced, like my nostril pierced when I was 15 or something, and I had it for a really long time. Then I got the Monroe really randomly, and then for a while I had 2 piercings on my nostril, and then I just wasn't feeling it anymore, and so I took one out, and then I felt like I wanted another one, so I got the septum very randomly, and now I love it. Growing up, for sure it started with Motown. I went through this super heavy, like, I don't want to say punk, but like pop punk phase. Like, still do love No Doubt, and like Gwen Stefani. I was into like the dyeing my hair and listening to Blink-182 and Green Day and stuff for a while. And then I heard TLC, so I got super into that. I didn't really get into hip hop until like my freshman year of high school, but then I fell in love with like Tribe Called Quest, and that was like my segue into real hip hop. I remember I heard Tribe Called Quest Stressed Out, and I had heard them before, but it just like something clicked, and it was like, oh my god, I love this. And then that really got me into like neo soul and like Lauryn Hill, and then that just changed my music and like what I did completely. Well, Curtain Call, I mean, if you've listened to like the past stuff and then that, it's definitely a different sound. Like, it's still soul, but it's more like electro soul, I think. Peter Cottontail is my producer. Him and I did our last EP, and it was, you know, like kind of more neo soul, like bouncy hip hop type of feel, which I love. And then we decided we wanted to do something more like Little Dragon, King inspired.
Little Dragon.
Right. And so we were in love with that, and we wanted to incorporate that. So we kind of did this electro soul type of thing. I remember writing it, and we really like were 50-50 on writing that song, like how it all was put together. And I wanted to talk about something other than love, because all I talk about is love. So, you know, I touched on like moral conflicts and I don't know, like dealing with not even the music industry in particular, but just being a young person coming up, or like, you know, we drink, we smoke hookah, or like other things, or like, you know, just you do things on your way to wherever you're trying to reach, and they're sometimes not the most moral or ethical, and you deal with like those conflicts as a person. Yeah, the video, I didn't really have a concept. We wanted to do something darker, and so I hit up Young Wonder, who were the girls who directed it, and they're really good. You know, they're out of Chicago. They've done stuff for mostly hip hop artists like YP, like YP and Sir Michael Rock. You know, they've done a lot of artists, and so we just started. I don't know, I bounced some ideas off them, and we just threw that together, and I think it matches it pretty well. You know, it kind of incorporates the whole love I have for like vintage glamour and all of that with like these hip hop driven beats. And, I don't know. Well, like I mentioned, it's more of like an electro soul type of EP. It's 5 new tracks, including Curtain Call, and then there's 2 remixes that I've released that are on there. The One Day remix and the My Name Is remix. Those were kind of like our transition into like a more electronic sound. There are like 2 love songs on it, and I guess a couple more including the remixes. But then there are 3 songs like completely not about love, which is awesome to me. Like Curtain Call. Then there's another one that is called Don't Worry, and it's kind of like, it's like the bright kind of happy song on the EP because it's mostly really dark. And I kind of reference a little girl, and it's like, don't pay attention to these stereotypes. You know, like the typical like be yourself and be happy type of thing. There's that song. There's another one kind of about the struggle of being an artist, like a upcoming artist, and that features 2 Chicago rappers, Chance the Rapper, and then Suleiman, who's in Treated Crew. They're both on that track, and it's more hip hop driven, but it's still soulful. And then there's 2 other songs in there that are kind of love-ish, but not really. I like them a lot. I'm proud of the project overall. Of course, the whole state of music is kind of sad, like where hip-hop is right now. There's some really great hip-hop artists coming out, but there are some that I'm like, really? Really, bro? Like, that's what you want to listen to? It's different, for sure. It's a lot different, but I think it's going in a good way in certain aspects and in a bad way. I'm just hoping that good music comes back. And but I mean, we're all biased too, because I mean, a lot of people think the shit that's on the radio is great. And music is all a matter of what we like, so who am I to say what's good and what's bad? I mean, I hope that, you know, music I do could appeal to a mass audience. You know, like, luckily, like, the hip-hop community has embraced me, like, in Chicago. Like, they do a lot of hip-hop shows, and I'm cool with a lot of the rappers. That's so awesome to me that I'm, like, you know, respected in the hip-hop community, and I don't do hip-hop. There was some great R&B and soul in the 90s. Like, the whole neo-soul movement and everything. I think there's a chance that could come back, but I don't know. I don't even really know how to say, like, where it's gonna go.
It's reminded me that there will be